The 35XXSP, followed by the 34XXH, followed by now the Anbernic RG34XXSP.
Sometimes they're the same.
No, they're never the same, Bruce.
Which snuck up right on the heels of the RG557 release, which honestly I just finished filming that video yesterday, and in the middle of the day this arrived in the mail, and I couldn't resist diving in and getting my first impressions here, and I'm especially curious about any Cardinal snapping on these joysticks, what the change in spec is going to mean, what the change in screen is going to mean, and so forth. So let's dive in. First off, as far as the size between these two, width-wise and all that, they look pretty much the same at the surface, except for when you go side by side. You'll notice that they did shave off a bit on the width because of that smaller screen, which is kind of nice. And then depth-wise, roughly the same, maybe just a hair thicker on the original SP. But the first thing I noticed when I took it out of the box is this just feels a lot more premium than the last run. Obviously the SP had two refreshes. They had the first one with very loose buttons and it was very shaky. And this one came out, which they made the triggers feel a lot better and the buttons feel a lot better. But this one just feels that much more premium. Like with the grip lines here, the weight just feels very even. This one feels just like a little bit topply, if that makes sense, where this just feels like a pretty solid, compact, quality unit. And that matte plastic with the Pokemon Pikachu style SP look is really selling me as well. Obviously, one of the biggest aesthetic changes people are going to note is the fact that the screen is a tad smaller, which I'm fine with, but the one unfortunate thing is they did give it a pretty big forehead, and I'm sure it's gonna be a complaint of a lot of people. And my theory on the reasoning of that is I'm pretty sure they grabbed the same screen from the 34XXH and popped it up in here and then just padded it with plastic so that it would fit the overall clamshell look, because they didn't want to make it too shallow, because then you wouldn't have space for the joysticks they added. So different aspect ratio screen, going from the 640 by 480 to the 720 by 480. So it's actually a sharper, slightly higher resolution panel, which is nice. But yeah, we add the forehead, we add the chin, but we add the joysticks, which is huge because I've recently gotten a lot more into Moonlight streaming from my gaming PC. So I'm really excited to see how these fare and if I can stream my full-on AAA titles to this little SP handle that I can throw in my pocket, because that'll be a huge game changer for how I travel. I've honestly streamed to this guy as well, but there's only so much you can do with the D-pad, you know what I mean? As far as the specs go, they're both rocking the same all-winner H700 as before, the same Mali G31 MP2 GPU, but the big other internal difference is that this guy has 2 gigs of RAM versus the 1 gig on the original. For most users, that's probably not going to matter, as that's not going to affect a lot of the emulation you'd be doing, but what it should make a big impact on is third-party software, especially ports. So if you've ever run, say, the Stardew Valley port on your SP and notice that those load times are a little slow, hopefully this means that that will get sped up, or we'll have a little more room to play with, and maybe we'll get access to a few more ports we didn't have before. I haven't flashed muOS or Newly or anything on here yet to play with those more advanced ports, but I'll keep you posted on that, and let me know what you want to see in the deep dive video with regards to which custom firmwares are compatible, what ports have been improved or made available with the upgrade in RAM, and anything else you're curious about with this new handheld. The battery size is the same, although in a second we will be cracking this guy open to see if we did the heatsink trick or not. And again, everything else the same. Same headphone jack, same mini HDMI out port, same USB OTG charging port, with the main difference in ports being that the 2 micro SD card slots have moved from the bottom to the sides, as you can see, which lets the headphone jack sit square in the middle of the bottom, which I really like. And we got a little lanyard mount, which is super cute. But enough talk, let's boot. Here we'll have the classic Anbernic stock OS that we've come to know and love. I've taken the liberty of going straight to the settings and turning off button sounds because they are atrocious. My wife said they made her want to cry every time she heard them, so yeah, would recommend turning those off. I'll hop right into RA game, and the first thing I want to do is test out the controller sticks and see if they are Cardinal snappers or real joysticks. No, don't delete it, that'd be terrible. First, let's figure out what core it'll play nice with. Hey, there we go. Okay, so first joystick, let's go. Gentle. Over. Definitely some snapping to the up, down, left, right axes, but maybe that's how sticks are supposed to work. But the fact that it's not snapping to the absolute farthest ends of it does give me hope that, like, if I want to just, like, say creep forward in a 3D game, I can just inch it forward and I'll be able to just creep forward, which is encouraging. It's gonna prefer up, down, left, right, but it will still let you do those circular movements. So my initial analysis is could be better, but could be worse as well. And I presume all the other performance will be exactly the same as the original 35XXSP. And here lies the reason that I switched to muOS, which is those little stutters that come from using an N64 RetroArch core versus a dedicated external emulator. It does show up. Wave Race is my kind of test case for that. So I'll definitely be flashing muOS to this as soon as possible because I'm a fanboy. But for those of you that enjoy the stock Anbernic OS out of the box, I think you'll be perfectly satisfied since it's just going to be the exact same experience as on the 35XXSP, just with 1 gig more RAM for kicks. That screen does look sharper though. Like obviously an N64 game isn't the sharpest title to showcase it on, but you can see in the borders there, I would say it does feel about 80 pixels sharper. And as usual, I don't understand how the Anbernic Moonlight app works. I'm on the Wi-Fi, that's the IP of my gaming desktop, and we get failed. So really not sure what's going on there. So muOS, here we come, baby. So I decided I couldn't wait any longer, and I took a gamble on grabbing the muOS flavor for the RG34XXH, and we are gonna see how that plays. Big bucks, no whammies if we guess the display driver correctly. Oh, that's a good sign. Vibration motor just kicked in. That's a good sign. You gotta love the fact that Anbernic keeps using the same old chip. Like obviously we'd like some more power in these handhelds, but it does make it really easy for porting our lovely custom ROMs between these handhelds. We've got controls. Do we have sticks? Getting a little glitchiness here swapping between the menu items. Maybe this wasn't the right flavor to pick. It's also disconcerting that the thumbsticks are not working. So yeah, I think that just confirms that we'll have to wait for the official flavors of Newly and muOS, MIUI, all those good guys to support the minor tweaks they made in the hardware and in the addition of joysticks and maintaining the hinge support that they added for the 35XXSP. Almost forgot to crack this guy open and see what's going on underneath. Big reveal. Wah, wah. That's a battery. That's a chip. I see. Well, maybe they'll do the refresh they did like with the 35XXSP and ship a new version with a little piece of cardboard here to insulate it a little more. Like I know why they do it, it still works. It's just, it's an unfortunate cost-cutting measure. Oh, and also the case this time around looks like it fell straight off of Indiana Jones's messenger bag here. Look at this thing. Boom. A little pocket there for, I don't know, SD cards? Like it's pretty huge. Clamp that down. Look at that class. You can put a whole strap on the sides, carry just this around your hilt. S tier. But yeah, as far as first impressions go, it's pretty obvious that Anbernic saw what the Miyoo Flip was up to, honing in on their clamshell territory but adding thumbsticks, and Anbernic said, ah, I see you don't know how to make a hinge that lasts, so hold my beer. Plus this has Bluetooth and now more RAM, and yeah, they're just pretty squarely showing that handheld up, which I'm glad for. I also am in love with this aesthetic. I think I will have to print on my wife's Cricut a little Pikachu face here to put to really round out the aesthetic. And the fact that the screen ratio has been slightly adjusted like it was on the 34XXH is super nice because then we're going to be able to do proper integer scaling, so all of our pixel perfect GBA emulation is going to look crispy on this guy, which I can't wait to dig into. I still have yet to 100% Mario Kart Super Circuit, so we're going to keep working on that. But that's all for today. Let me know what you want to see in the full deep dive on the 34XXSP. I'm excited to be playing with this over the next couple of weeks. Please subscribe if you want to help out the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.